WWE has a topsy-turvy relationship with its fans since around the demise of WCW in 2001. However, the last few years have seen WWE's approval rating from its audience diminish to unprecedented levels. In 2021 alone, Raw and SmackDown have seen record low viewership numbers. It's also being reported that WrestleMania tickets are moving very slowly for the upcoming event in Dallas. As we move into 2022, WWE is certainly looking at life from the ground up, and it relates to their content. Here are 10 things fans do not want to see in 2022. Number 10, the 24/7 title. Since being revamped by Mick Foley a few years ago, it's become a bit of a comic relief. The only problem is that there hasn't been much to laugh about when it comes to 24/7 title. It's true that the original concept of the hardcore title was something of a success, but yeah, this era, it's just not really working, is it? You can't really do the same stuff with the hardcore title, so kind of want to see the 24/7 title retired. But moving on then to number 9, Survivor Series. For the second year in a row, Survivor Series was preceded by the annual draft. The primary issue with holding the draft so close to Survivor Series is the concept of brand supremacy. How are you supposed to believe that they're rooting for their respective brand when they were on the other brand about a month ago? It just doesn't make sense. But moving on then to number 8, Becky Lynch and Big Time Bex. While this is no indictment on Becky as a performer, it's rather the character she's portrayed. For me, it just didn't make sense for her to come back as a heel straight after returning, getting the hero's welcome, and yeah, for me it hasn't really clicked. I think the Becky we saw just before she left is really the Becky I want to go back to. But moving on then to number 7, and that's Michael Cole. This entry is less about Michael Cole and more about his overall health. Recently Cole said he lost about 65% of his hearing, and it's hard to discount what kind of effect that has and his stress levels as well. And yeah, maybe it's time to give Michael Cole a break, and that would be a great thing for everyone. And number 6 is pay-per-view promotion. It's no secret that sponsorships are necessary components of a company. However, WWE has taken stuff to silly levels over recent years. Think of Survivor Series and that bloody egg. What was going on there? And there was one where the Miz got that serious injury. I don't even want to remember what it was, but yeah, it's just dreadful. Number 5, Saudi shows. It's hard to argue that this year's Crown Jewel was one of the best shows of the year, but really as a whole, WWE's Saudi shows, ones that we have to see, not for me. They're kind of big money fests, glorified house shows maybe you could argue, and yeah, I would rather just see regular pay-per-views than rather going back to Saudi Arabia. Number 4 is Goldberg. The fact we're even discussing an in-ring return for Goldberg after his 2016 return is mind-boggling, really. The time has come in 2022 for Goldberg to set off into the sunset. Maybe you'll get one more match at WrestleMania, but after that I'd really like to see Goldberg just hang up the boot and give it to some younger talent. Number 3 is scripted promos. Over the last decade, WWE has made every effort to micromanage every possible aspect of their on-screen display. It seems that promos have been what suffered the most, and yeah, you can really see how the scripted promos affect some talent. It really doesn't allow them to get the best promos that maybe you see in AEW, for example. Moving on then to number 2, 3 hours on Raw. It's become increasingly standard, this criticism, but it really needs to go down, really. It's seen the lowest ratings in the brand history, and operating under the brand split, the company just lacks the star power to put on an entertaining 3-hour production. I really hope Raw returns to 2. Moving on then to number 1, and that is releases. If I had to name all the releases they've been in last year, I think I'd be here all day. But yeah, it just really needs to stop. We need to build a solid roster now, stop releasing talent, and just utilise them the way they should be utilised, and that's my biggest wish for WWE this year. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts, comments down below, follow us to link description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel on Instagram, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.